Hey Alexis, Jake Breen here, talking nightly rentals. I get this question a lot. I'm going to insert in an email a few older videos I've filmed for you, or that I've filmed that will add to this, but I'm sending you this custom one just to give you a high level overview. This is how I do this conversation. We need to separate the letter of the law, which is zoning, and the spirit of the law, which is what everyone's doing. Here's what I've found a lot of consumers don't understand, and virtually the real estate community doesn't understand. To actually legally rent a property nightly on Airbnb or VRBO is 100% against zoning code unless you are actually in a community that is approved for nightly rentals. And usually if you read the CCNRs, they're 3-night minimum, okay? And there's very few communities throughout the state that are zoned for this. St. George is getting pretty popular. They're zoning entire community areas for nightly rentals, such as the new area of Washington and that exit. Most of it's all zoned for nightly. But suffice to say, it's rare. If you're talking Salt Lake County, like Sandy, the city of Sandy has no nightly rental zoning, okay? Cottonwood Heights only has so many circulating permits. And so they're all in use, and you have to buy one or buy a property that has one and then reapply to get it approved for nightly. That is letter of the law, zoning code. Okay, let's talk reality, spirit of the law. Everybody's violating it. In fact, you've probably heard in real estate, people are always saying, oh, well, we have this mother-in-law apartment for rent. It's $1,000 a month. That is illegal and against zoning code. The definition of a mother-in-law apartment is that you let your family or mother-in-law stay there for free and you're not collecting rent. That's by nature the definition, and the city allows you to do a separate entrance. What does everyone do? They violate zoning code. What is everyone doing in Sugar House that's renting out a bedroom or doing nightly rentals or Airbnb or VRBO? They're violating zoning code. Reality. Cities know this. No one's really enforcing. So what do we tell our clients? Your client wants to perhaps spec or build $1 million house and have a nightly rental component or nightly rental the whole house. The answer to this question is, can he do it? Yeah. Could a squeaky wheel neighbor in the future complain? Yes. Is the city going to do anything? Highly unlikely, but can they? Yes. What can they do? They can file what's called a certificate of non-compliance, which means you are doing something against zoning code on your property, and that's all they really can do. What does that do to you? It attaches to the client's title of that said property and makes it so you can't refinance or sell the property or anything until it's removed. To remove it, they'll make it take it down from VRBO and all this stuff. Also, advertising a property like that, even though it's against zoning code, allows the IRS to kind of track you. And if you're not doing it accurately, I have had people audited or busted. Again, not all a big deal. What do? Have I violated zoning code? Yes. Or tons of other people? Yes. Do I like advising a client that they can? Not really, unless they understand exactly what I'm talking about here. So feel free to forward this video to whoever you'd like that wants to watch it. I hate to act like I'm towing the letter of the law and then have a client go talk to somebody else. It's like, yeah, it's no problem. Just go ahead and do it. Because that also happens all the time. Now, if you want my expertise advice, I'm inserting 2 other prior videos that I filmed. One of them goes over me helping a client decide how to get comps on a nightly rental or a ski rental. So that'll give you an idea of how I would do that, because you can't really go into the MLS to do that. And then number 2, I'm giving you a video I filmed rather recently about ADUs. Salt Lake City has approved an ADU ordinance. Cottonwood Heights just 30 days ago approved their first ADU ordinance. And I think most municipalities will follow in suit. What does that mean? If I was speccing a new $1 million-ish house, which I have some lots off Wasatch and been thinking of doing this, I would probably do a house with a lockout basement and a separate entrance, even though technically I couldn't rent it nightly. I would get it approved as a mother-in-law apartment, because that's the only way the city's going to allow you to do it. And then I probably would rent it until I got busted. I probably also, if I could, would put an ADU on that property if I was in a city that is now allowing those, which is a separate little outbuilding, like a garage, but you make it into an apartment, and then you could have 2 nightly rentals and a long-term upstairs rental. Could you also just build $1 million house and then rent the whole thing on Airbnb and VRBO? Well, sure. But again, you still don't have nightly zoning. So in a really bad scenario, if you did all that and your plan was just to rent the big, nice new house, and then you were one of the rare people that did get busted, your whole investment's gone, which is why I would do a lockout basement and or an ADU if I was starting from scratch. That's a high level answer to your question. If you or your client have more specifics after watching this and then perhaps the other videos, let me know and I'm happy to get you answers. Good luck.